Ahoy there, listener, and welcome aboard this Good Ship Deep Dive. Now, you might not be a shipping expert.
Totally okay.
Exactly. But you're curious about the future, and so are we. And that's why we're here to dive deep into the fascinating world of sustainable shipping.
It's an industry undergoing a massive transformation right now.
Huge. We've got this incredible source chock full of insights about how shipping is changing, not just about, moving cargo from point A to point B anymore.
It's about doing it in a way that protects our planet, too.
And that's the mission of this deep dive, to explore this future of shipping where sustainability, safety, and, green practices are all intertwined. It's like imagine a cargo ship, but it's powered by the sun.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole green wave sweeping the industry right now.
So let's start with the why. Why is sustainability such a big deal for shipping in the first place?
Well, think about it. The shipping industry as it stands today is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions.
We're talking big numbers, right?
Huge. Nearly 3% of global emissions. That's about the same as a whole industrialized nation.
3%. Wow. Okay, so that really puts it into perspective.
It does. And it underscores how much we rely on shipping.
To keep the world moving.
Absolutely. But that reliance comes with a responsibility to address its environmental impact.
And that's where the International Maritime Organization, or IMO, comes in.
Right. They've set this ambitious goal to cut emissions in half.
By 2050? That's not that far off.
It's not. And that's why this transformation needs to happen now. To meet that target, we need a complete overhaul of how things are done.
New fuels, new technologies, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. Everything from how ships are designed to how they're operated.
Let's break that down a bit. What are some of the innovations driving this green wave? I've heard about renewable energy sources.
Oh, yeah. Things are getting really interesting there.
Are we talking solar-powered cargo ships? Is that actually a thing?
It is. Solar panels are becoming more and more common on ships, especially for powering auxiliary systems.
Yeah.
But solar is just one part of the story.
What else is there? Wind power.
You got it. We're seeing a resurgence of wind-assisted propulsion.
Wait, you mean like sails? Actual sails on modern cargo ships.
It sounds crazy, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking high-tech sails made from super lightweight materials. They can be controlled automatically to make the most of different wind conditions.
So it's a fusion of ancient wisdom and modern technology. That's fascinating.
It is, and it shows the creativity in this space.
What about alternative fuels? I have heard hydrogen and ammonia being tossed around as potential game changers.
They both have huge potential, but there are challenges too.
Like what?
Well, take hydrogen, for example. It burns super clean, emitting only water vapor when you use it in a fuel cell.
Sounds perfect.
Right. But producing and storing the massive amounts of hydrogen needed for shipping, that's a major hurdle.
What about ammonia then?
Ammonia is interesting because we already transport it in large quantities around the world, so some of the infrastructure is already there. But it's toxic, so there are safety concerns. And it can still contribute to air pollution.
So it sounds like there's no magic bullet when it comes to alternative fuels. It's going to be a mix and match situation.
Exactly. And it's not just about the fuel itself, but how we use it. That's where digitalization and AI come into play.
Hold on, data and AI in shipping? That seems like a big leap from, the image of sailors battling the elements.
It is a shift, but a necessary one. Imagine a ship that's constantly monitoring its own performance, analyzing weather patterns, ocean currents, and adjusting its route in real time to save fuel.
So like a self-aware ship constantly learning and adapting.
Exactly. That's the power of AI. And this data-driven approach can touch every part of how a ship operates, from navigation to engine management, and even predicting maintenance needs before anything breaks down.
Kind of like a Fitbit for a ship constantly checking its vitals.
Perfect analogy.
So, okay, we're talking smart ships, but what makes a ship smart exactly?
Think about it. Sensors all over the ship collecting data on everything. Fuel consumption, engine temperature, even stress on the hull.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It is.
Yeah.
And all that data gets fed into these sophisticated algorithms that can identify patterns, predict what's going to happen, and recommend adjustments.
To make the ship more efficient and reduce emissions.
Exactly.
So it's not just about having cool gadgets, it's about using data intelligently.
100%. And this data-driven approach is bigger than just individual ships. We're also seeing the rise of smart ports.
Oh, smart ports. Are we talking robots unloading cargo and drones zipping around?
You're getting the picture.
Yeah.
Smart ports leverage digital technologies to streamline everything, make things more efficient, and reduce their impact on the environment.
Like how?
One big thing is shore power ships can plug into the electrical grid while they're docked.
So they don't have to run their engines while in port.
Which cuts down on air pollution a big win for port cities and the planet.
Makes sense. What else?
Think automated container handling systems, traffic management to make sure everything moves smoothly, and real-time data sharing between everyone involved.
So it's about creating a seamless, interconnected system where data makes everything work better.
That's the goal. And by making ports smarter, we can reduce congestion, improve safety, and minimize shipping's environmental footprint.
It all sounds impressive, but I have to ask, what about cybersecurity? With all this interconnectedness and reliance on data, aren't these systems vulnerable to hacking?
That's a valid concern. As we rely more and more on digital technologies, cybersecurity becomes absolutely crucial.
So the industry is aware of the risks.
Oh yeah, they're investing heavily in security measures to protect these systems from cyber attacks.
That's good to hear. It's like a tightrope walk, embracing the power of technology while also safeguarding against the risks. But let's not forget about the ships that are already out there. We can't just scrap the entire existing fleet and start from scratch. Can these older ships be retrofitted with these new technologies?
Retrofitting is absolutely essential. And the good news is many of these technologies can be retrofitted onto existing vessels.
Making them more efficient and greener.
Exactly.
Give me some examples. What kind of retrofits can make a big difference?
Well, one example is upgrading to more fuel-efficient engines. Even a small improvement in fuel efficiency has a big impact over the lifetime of a ship.
Right, because they're constantly running.
Another area is waste heat recovery systems, capturing heat that would normally be wasted and using it to generate electricity or heat water.
So it's all about squeezing every ounce of efficiency out of these ships.
You got it. There are also retrofits that can make the ship cut through the water more efficiently, reducing drag. Things like propeller modifications, special hull coatings, even adding little fins to the hull can make a surprising difference.
So we're giving these older ships a new lease on life, making them cleaner and more efficient.
Exactly. And leading the charge in this green revolution are the zero-emission vessels, or ZEVs.
ZEVs, what are those?
These are ships designed from day one to operate with zero emissions. They use clean energy sources like hydrogen fuel cells, batteries, even wind power.
Zero-emission ships. It sounds futuristic.
It's becoming a reality. We're seeing the first ZEVs hitting the water, and the technology is advancing rapidly.
This is amazing. But with all this focus on technology, are we overlooking the human element? Well, what about the crews on board? Are we sacrificing safety in pursuit of sustainability?
Not at all. In fact, many of these technologies actually enhance safety at sea. Take autonomous navigation systems, for example. They can reduce the risk of human error, which is a major cause of accidents.
So it's not about replacing humans with robots, it's about using technology to support human crews.
Exactly. And we need to make sure seafarers are well-trained, have safe working conditions, and that their mental health and well-being are taken care of.
Because sustainability isn't just about the environment, it's about people too.
Absolutely. It's about creating a future where shipping is not only sustainable, but ethical and equitable too.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already. It feels like we've only just dipped our toes into this ocean of information.
There's a lot to explore.
So much more to discover, listener. Stay with us as we continue our deep dive into the future of sustainable shipping after a short break.
We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, listener. As we sail further into the world of sustainable shipping, I think we need to address the elephant on the deck, the financial side of things.
Right, because let's be honest, going green can often mean big upfront costs.
Exactly. So how do we balance sustainability with profitability? Can shipping companies actually afford to go green?
That's the million-dollar question. Is it even possible?
Well, the good news is that more and more we're seeing that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, in many cases, going green can actually save companies money in the long run.
Now, that's interesting. Tell me more. How does investing in sustainability lead to cost savings?
Let's take fuel, for example. It's one of the biggest expenses for shipping companies.
Makes sense. They're guzzling it constantly.
Exactly. And so ships designed with fuel efficiency in mind, whether it's through their shape, the types of fuel they use, or renewable energy sources, they end up spending less on fuel.
And over the lifetime of a ship, that really adds up.
Huge savings. And then there are the operational efficiencies we talked about earlier. Smart ships that can optimize routes, predict maintenance needs, and minimize downtime. They're just more cost-effective to operate.
Because it's not just about the initial cost of the green technology, it's about the long-term savings that come with it.
You got it. And there's another financial angle to consider. As consumers increasingly demand sustainable products and services, shipping companies that are ahead of the curve on sustainability are going to have a competitive edge.
So being green can actually boost a company's bottom line.
Absolutely. They'll attract customers, investors, partners who care about the environment. Not to mention, they'll be better prepared for future regulations and carbon pricing schemes. It's a win-win for business and the planet.
This is all very encouraging, but shipping is a massive industry with so many players.
Uh-huh.
How do we make sure that everyone, even those who are hesitant to change, gets on board with this green transition?
It's a valid point. Transforming an industry of this scale is going to require a multi-pronged approach. Strong leadership, clear regulations, robust enforcement, and compelling incentives.
So you're saying it's going to take a joint effort from governments, international organizations, and the industry itself.
Exactly. We're already seeing some progress with the IMO's emissions reduction targets.
But those targets need to be enforced.
Right. There need to be consequences for companies that don't comply.
Sounds like we need a carrot and stick approach. What kind of incentives could encourage companies to embrace sustainability?
Well, financial incentives are a good place to start. Things like subsidies and tax breaks for investing in clean technologies. But consumer demand is a powerful force too. Companies are realizing that showing their commitment to sustainability isn't just good for the planet, it's good for business.
So the market itself is becoming a driver of change.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the growing pressure from investors and shareholders. They're increasingly factoring environmental, social, and governance, or ESG considerations, into their investment decisions. Companies that lag behind on sustainability might find it harder to attract capital.
It's fascinating to see how these different forces, regulations, consumer demand, investor pressure, are all pushing the industry toward a greener future.
It's a powerful convergence. And then, of course, there's the constant innovation constantly driving down costs and making it easier for companies to adopt sustainable practices.
It's a positive feedback loop. Innovation makes going green more feasible, which in turn fuels more innovation.
Exactly. And as we move forward, I think we can expect even more groundbreaking technologies to emerge, further accelerating this cycle of positive change.
This is all very encouraging. But zooming out a bit, what are some of the potential long-term impacts of this green revolution in shipping? What does a truly sustainable shipping industry look like, and what are the benefits beyond just cutting emissions?
Imagine cleaner air in port cities, healthier oceans, and a significant reduction in the industry's contribution to climate change. Those are just some of the environmental benefits.
A healthier planet for everyone, that's a fantastic outcome. But what about the economic and social impacts?
From an economic standpoint, a more sustainable shipping industry will create new jobs, boost economic growth, and foster innovation in a wide range of sectors.
Like renewable energy and clean technologies.
Exactly. And from a social perspective, a more sustainable shipping industry can lead to better working conditions for seafarers, fairer trade practices, and a more equitable distribution of the benefits of global trade.
So it's a win-win-win for the environment, the economy, and society.
Precisely. It's a testament to how interconnected these issues are and the power of working together to create positive change.
Speaking of working together, can you give us some specific examples of companies or organizations that are leading the charge in this transition? Who are the trailblazers paving the way?
There are so many inspiring examples out there, both big and small. One of the most notable is Maersk, one of the world's largest shipping companies. They've set a goal to become carbon neutral by 2050, and they're investing heavily to make it happen.
Carbon neutral by 2050 for a company that size? That's incredibly ambitious. How are they planning to do it?
They're tackling it from multiple angles. They're investing in new types of ships, including vessels that can run on methanol, a low-carbon fuel. They're exploring wind power and other renewable energy sources. And they're focusing on optimizing their operations to reduce fuel consumption and emissions.
It's a comprehensive approach tackling the challenge on all fronts. What about other companies? Are there smaller companies or startups making a difference?
Absolutely. One that comes to mind is Wallenius Wilhelmsen, a company that specializes in transporting cars. They're developing a new kind of car carrier ship that uses wind power and other energy-saving technologies to reduce its carbon footprint.
Wind-powered car carriers. That's a striking image. It shows that sustainability innovations can happen in all parts of the shipping industry.
Exactly. Another great example is Shana's startup developing an AI-powered system to optimize ship routes and reduce fuel consumption.
So they're using AI to make shipping smarter and greener. It's great to see these smaller, more agile companies pushing innovation forward. But what about the research and development side? What role are universities and research institutions playing?
They're crucial. They're developing the cutting-edge technologies and solutions that will help the industry become truly sustainable. They're doing research on everything from new fuels and more efficient engines to alternative propulsion systems like wind power and hydrogen fuel cells.
So they're the brains behind the operation, so to speak.
Exactly. And they're also educating and training the next generation of engineers, naval architects, and maritime professionals who will be leading the industry into the future. They're giving them the knowledge and skills they need to navigate the complexities of a sustainable shipping industry.
That's so important. We need to make sure the people designing, building, and operating the ships of tomorrow understand sustainability and the latest technologies.
Absolutely. And we're seeing more universities offering specialized programs in maritime sustainability and green shipping. It's a clear sign that the industry is taking this challenge seriously and investing in the future.
It's encouraging to see so much progress and so many people working toward this shared goal. But let's be real, there must be some hurdles along the way. What are some of the biggest obstacles to creating a truly sustainable shipping industry?
But one of the biggest challenges is simply the sheer size of the industry. Shipping is a global enterprise with millions of moving parts. It takes a coordinated effort from governments, companies, and organizations all over the world to make this transition happen.
It's a massive undertaking. We can't just flip a switch and make every ship green overnight.
Exactly. It's going to take time, investment, and a lot of hard work. And of course, there are technological challenges. Some of the technologies we need to achieve true sustainability, like zero-emission fuels, are still in their early stages of development. It's a race against time to develop and deploy these technologies as quickly as possible to mitigate the impacts of climate change.
A race against time indeed. And as we talked about earlier, there are also economic challenges. Transitioning to sustainable shipping requires a lot of investment up front. Some companies, especially smaller ones, might struggle to afford those investments. How do we make sure this transition is fair and doesn't leave anyone behind?
That's a crucial question. It's about creating a level playing field and ensuring that everyone has the chance to participate in this green revolution, no matter their size or financial resources. We need ways to support companies of all sizes, especially in developing countries, as they shift to more sustainable practices. Things like financial assistance, technology transfer, and capacity building programs.
It's about lending a helping hand to make sure everyone is part of this journey toward a more sustainable future.
Exactly. And we can't overlook the social and political challenges either. As we transition to a more sustainable shipping industry, there will be shifts in jobs and changes in what skills are needed. We need to manage this transition carefully, giving workers the skills and support they need to adapt.
It's about ensuring a just transition that benefits everyone, not just a select few. What about the political challenges?
Well, as with any major change, there will be resistance from those who benefit from the way things are now. We need to build consensus and overcome these political obstacles so we can move forward together.
Despite the challenges, it's clear that the shipping industry is moving toward a more sustainable future. The momentum is building, and the potential benefits are enormous. What are some of the most promising developments that give you the most hope for the future of shipping?
One of the most encouraging things I see is the growing awareness and commitment to sustainability within the industry itself. We're seeing companies both large and small making bold commitments to reduce their impact and invest in new technologies, not because they have to, but because they believe it's the right thing to do.
So it's a shift in mindset, not just a shift in technology.
Exactly. It's a fundamental change in values and priorities. It's not just about compliance or saving money anymore. It's about a real desire to do what's right for the planet and for future generations. It's about realizing that sustainability isn't just a responsibility, it's an opportunity.
That's really inspiring. It's a reminder that at the heart of this green revolution is a fundamental change in how we see our relationship with the planet and our role in protecting it. What else gives you optimism?
Well, the sheer creativity and pace of innovation in this field is amazing. We're seeing technologies emerge that have the potential to completely transform the industry and make it truly sustainable.
Tell me more about these game-changing innovations. What technologies are you most excited about?
One area I'm particularly fascinated by is the development of hydrogen fuel cells for ships. Hydrogen is a clean-burning fuel that only produces water as a byproduct, and fuel cells are a super efficient way to convert that hydrogen into electricity, perfect for powering ships.
So we're talking about the possibility of zero-emission ships running on hydrogen.
Exactly. And it's not just a theory. There are already a number of pilot projects happening around the world testing out this technology.
That's incredible. What other technological advances are you watching closely?
Autonomous shipping is another area with huge potential. Like we talked about earlier, Self-driving ships could improve safety, boost efficiency, and reduce emissions by taking human error out of the equation and optimizing operations.
It's still wild to imagine these massive ships sailing the oceans without a human captain.
I know it sounds like science fiction, but the technology is advancing so quickly. I think autonomous shipping will be a major part of the industry's future.
It shows that the future of shipping isn't just about small improvements, it's about big, bold innovations that can completely change the industry.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the technology itself, but also about the collaborations happening across the industry. Companies, governments, research institutions, and NGOs are all working together to develop and deploy these sustainable solutions.
It's a perfect example of how working together and sharing a common vision can drive progress.
Exactly. It's a recognition that we're all in this together and that we need to collaborate to overcome the challenges and grab the opportunities that are out there.
It's truly inspiring to see this spirit of collaboration and innovation in the shipping industry. But before we get too caught up in the excitement of the future, I want to bring it back to the present.
Back to the here and now.
Yeah. We've talked about technology, economics, global collaboration, all big picture stuff. But it's important to remember that this isn't just some abstract concept. This is about real people working at sea, dealing with the challenges of this transition every day.
You're absolutely right. At the heart of this industry are the seafarers, the men and women who keep the ships moving and global trade flowing.
Exactly. And we talked about how important it is to make sure they have good working conditions, fair treatment, and a smooth transition as the industry changes. But I'm curious about the skills and training needed for this new era of shipping. Are we going to need a whole new generation of maritime professionals to navigate this increasingly complex and technologically advanced world?
Absolutely. As shipping embraces all this digitalization, automation alternative fuels, the skills that seafarers need are changing so fast.
It's not just about knowing how to tie a knot or steer a ship anymore.
Exactly. It's a whole new ballgame.
So what kind of skills are we talking about? What does it take to be a mariner in this new age of sustainable shipping?
Imagine a seafarer who can troubleshoot a complex sensor network,
Huh?
analyze real-time data to optimize fuel consumption, or even remotely pilot an autonomous vessel. These are the kind of skills that will be in high demand.
It's like a blend of traditional seamanship and cutting-edge tech expertise.
Exactly. We need seafarers who are comfortable with the latest technologies, but who can also think critically, adapt to new situations, and have a strong commitment to safety and sustainability.
It's a challenging but exciting role. How is the industry adapting to this need for new skills? Are there new training programs to prepare the next generation?
Absolutely. And this is where those collaborations and partnerships we discussed earlier come in. We're seeing shipping companies, maritime academies, and tech companies all teaming up to develop specialized training programs focused on the skills of the future.
So it's a multi-pronged approach, equipping current seafarers with new skills while also training the next generation from the ground up.
Exactly. And it's not just about technical skills either. We need to cultivate a culture of sustainability and innovation within the industry. We need seafarers who are not only technically proficient, but also passionate about the environment and committed to finding new and better ways of doing things.
So it's about having a workforce that's skilled and motivated to make this green revolution a reality.
Precisely. That's what makes this such an exciting time to be part of the shipping industry. We have this incredible opportunity to create a future for this vital sector that is truly sustainable and equitable. And it's the people, the skilled, passionate, forward-thinking people who will make it happen.
It's a powerful reminder that even with all the amazing technology and innovation, at the end of the day, it's the human spirit, our desire to explore, to connect, to build a better future that really drives us forward.
Beautifully said. The future of shipping is not just about ships and tech. It's about people, collaboration, and a shared commitment to a brighter future for everyone.
Well, listener, it seems we've reached the end of our voyage for today. We've explored the vast and changing world of sustainable shipping. We've looked at the challenges, the opportunities, and the incredible potential of this industry as it charts a course toward a greener future.
We've only just scratched the surface of this complex and fascinating topic, but hopefully this deep dive has piqued your interest and given you some food for thought.
And maybe even inspired you to consider how you, in your own way, can contribute to the wave of change sweeping not just the shipping industry, but the whole world.
Until next time, may your journeys be smooth sailing.
And may we all navigate towards a more sustainable future together.